So I want to bring something to light. With the changing of technology, this is something I can't believe is happening in my lifetime. Rise of digital distribution in streaming. I made a prediction back in 2014 that something like this will take over. Maybe 12 years from now. I give it 12 years, we will see a change. Rich from Review Tech USA will explain this. This caught my attention. Here we go. Let's get going. I have a point to all of this.
Was very bullish on that consoles are going to die and that we're going to have one device that is going to be our gaming device, our computing device. We're going to stream games from the cloud, or at least we're going to download them to our smart device, and consoles as we know them are going to be no more. I was nowhere near 100% right about that, but there were some grains of truth in what I was saying.
I'm here to show you what is eventually going to kill consoles. Plug micro USB into the phone, plug HDMI into the back of your television, and then you plug it into your phone charger. That's how it gets power to the HDMI. And there you go, your phone's on your TV. This is going to kill off consoles, and it may even become your PC. I know people don't want to hear it. Hell, I love PCs more than anybody else almost out there. I love consoles too, but you gotta face reality. I'm gonna show you some very interesting points. So the first thing I'm gonna do, but guys, look, here we go. This is the future of gaming. This is, I know it's gonna be a touchy subject with people, but it's already begun, man. And I hate to say it, but it's inevitable.
Now, do I feel it was wrong about cloud gaming being the future and you just having one smart device that you game from and you do your video editing from and you type up documents from, so on and so forth, and you're going to have literally a smartphone that you put around in various docks in your home, and that's how you're going to have your gaming experience, your movie viewing experience, your computing experience? No, I still feel that that day is coming. It's inevitable. But what I was very, very wrong about was when it was going to happen. I honestly felt by this time in 2018, we would all just be downloading games either via digital distribution, we wouldn't be getting physical copies anymore, or we would be cloud gaming. I wasn't 110% on board with everyone cloud gaming, but I thought cloud gaming would have been way more relevant by now than it is. But we are starting to see the beginnings of what I was way too bold on predicting and what many other people in the industry predicted. We're seeing digital distribution sales and digital download sales increasing, and we're seeing less people buying physical copies of games. We're seeing software services or cloud gaming services emerge like GeForce Now from Nvidia or PlayStation Now from Sony, where you're actually playing games via the cloud. You don't have a disc in your console or your PC and you're not downloading the game to your console or PC. All of the heavy lifting in terms of graphics rendering and processing is being done in some data center somewhere, and the game's visuals are just being streamed to your console or your smartphone or your computer, whatever the case may be. So now with cloud gaming technology and GeForce Now, for example, you could have a $200 potato of a laptop, have a GeForce Now subscription, and play Far Cry 5 at max settings on that very weak laptop.
Is this where we're going? End of consoles? Streaming? No, it's coming, guys. Every time I buy my movies, physical copies, there is a special advertisement with a code. I recently bought a movie called War Dogs. See this here? I'm sure everybody knows about this. With this, I can watch anything on my device as long as I put the code on this. I don't want this at all. I'd rather have the full copy in my hands. That's my opinion. I don't want to watch it on my device or anywhere. I want a physical copy. One last thing from Rich.
Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot sees the next generation of consoles being the last conventional generation, and he feels that cloud gaming is going to be the main way that we game in the somewhat near future. This is what he had to say to Variety magazine. I think we will see another generation, but there is a good chance that step by step we will see less and less hardware. With time, I think streaming will become more accessible to many players and make it not necessary to have big hardware at home. There will be one more console generation, and then after that, we will be streaming. All of us. It is going to help the AAA game industry grow much faster. We have to work on the accessibility of those games to make sure they can be played on any device. But the fact that we will be able to stream those games on mobile phones and television screens without a console is going to change a lot of the industry. There are quite a few people that are working on streaming like Nvidia, so we think it's a trend and that it will continue to evolve. Eventually, the technology will improve dramatically, which will allow us to have a very smooth experience in the big cities of the world. Microsoft's Phil Spencer also feels the same way. He sees gaming becoming more of a service than something that's attached to a piece of hardware. This is what he had to say to Variety. Our focus right now is asking the question, what can Microsoft do for gaming, instead of simply how to stack up against the competition? It's why we look at expanding the audience with the Xbox Adaptive Controller. That's the controller that's meant for people with limited mobility or some kind of disability so they could still game, which looks really interesting, and I want to get my hands on one to try it out. Or how we make sure games can be multi-generational with projects like backward compatibility. I care less that people play Minecraft on an Xbox One, but that people can play Minecraft no matter what console or device they have in front of them. So basically, Phil Spencer is saying the same thing that Yves Guillemot from Ubisoft is saying, is that he sees us taking our games everywhere with us and playing them on any device that we can play them on to have more access to the games that we want to play. And if you really think about it, if you want an actual taste of what both Phil Spencer and Yves Guillemot are talking about and what I was talking about back in the day, look at the Nintendo Switch. It's a perfect example. Other videos. If you think you purchasing a physical copy of a game in 2018 means that you have the full copy on a cartridge or a disc, you're kidding yourself, because you also know every time you put a disc into your console or a cartridge into your Switch, there's patches or updates that have to download. So say for some reason that Sony ceases to exist, Nintendo or Microsoft cease to exist, and you have all these physical games, so you think you're alright, so you'll be able to play them 10 years in the future, even if Microsoft no longer supports the Xbox One at all, I got some bad news for you. At best, that game will be severely buggy, or if you can't get the patch for it anymore, the game may not run at all, even if you have a physical copy. And you're right, the internet is not ready yet for everyone to be gaming in the cloud or just downloading their games. But eventually, years from now, it will get there. And if that generation of consoles, say that's the last conventional generation of consoles, that generation may last 8 years too, and by the time that generation ends, it'll be the year 2029. That's over a decade from now. And in a decade, technology can change a hell of a lot, and by that point, the internet infrastructure around the world may be ready for us to either download our games solely or play all our games via the cloud. And by that point, you may start seeing things differently and embrace cloud gaming and digital distribution like I am beginning to.
I sort of live out in the country. I know people who don't have great internet at all. My internet is sort of good, a little sort of good, but I still don't want streaming. The year Rich that just gave out is exactly my prediction, but we'll have to wait and see. So when Sony and Microsoft stop making games, consoles, or whatever, 20 years from now, holy crap, I didn't really think about that. PS3 and 360 and PS4 and Xbox One? What if he's right? No more updates? I never thought of that. Seriously, I never really thought of that. Remember when Halo 2 service got shut down? A lot of people that I knew had the game and they flocked over to play online one last time. I have one more person to bring up. At the same time, she makes a valid point. Bear in mind, this was made back in 2009. Here we go.
Digital distribution. That's right, things have been changing in this world. Do you guys remember when CDs were big? Remember these things? When we used to buy CDs instead of going online and downloading them all for free? Nope. Things have changed. Back in the day when you used to go to a friend's house, they would have their CDs lined against the wall as their prizes. Now, Ever since the iPod came out, there's Napster, iTunes, the Zune, MP3 players like Matt. Nobody buys CDs anymore. Look at what happened to The Warehouse and all those CD selling places. Gone. Tower Records leaving, going out of business. All those big electronics places gone. So think about this in the gaming industry. We're going towards digital distribution. Ever since Sony announced the PSP Go, what's happening to games now? Are we still going to go buy games? Are we still going to get physical copies and keep them with us? Pretty much Sony is trying to make everything digital distribution with the PSP Go. If you think about it, if you have a PSP 3000 and you have UMDs, how would you play that on a PSP Go? Besides illegally. I mean, how would you do that? You already bought a copy of the game. You don't want to have to buy another game through digital distribution. What is Sony going to do about it? Apparently in the works they're trying to come up with this program that'll let you trade your hard copy for a digital copy of the same game. That way you can still play your game on a PSP Go without actually having to rebuy it. But of course there's a catch. What will the program do? I mean, are you physically going to have to go into a store and trade it for like a code that you download? And what happens if you mess up the code? Will you be able to download it again so it works? Or are you totally screwed and have to pay up again? That's the question. And then what's going to happen to GameStop and all those game stores? Best Buy's not going to have a game section anymore. What's going to happen to all those people who work there? Are they all going to lose their jobs? Is the economy just going to suck them up?
They took our job! They took our job! They took your job! They took our job! They took your job! They took your job! Your job! They took our jobs! They took your job! They took your job! They took your job! They took our jobs! They took our jobs!
I mean, you know exactly what's going to happen. As soon as the Go comes out, people are going to be hacking it, downloading ROMs illegally. Like, okay, well, they were doing that before. But with the Go, they have the technology already kind of there. It's like, well, why should I buy games anyway? I could just download it onto my PSP Go. Think about that. What are they going to be doing with full games for, like, the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii? They all have online stores that you can go to, and you can all purchase games from them. Is that going to take over going to the store and buying an actual physical copy? This is a dilemma that people have been talking about since E3. Digital distribution. I mean, what's going to happen to CDs? I mean, people are they going to use them? Are they going to use Blu-ray DVDs? Everything right now is bought online because our technology is so advanced. But the more we catch up with that, people are going to lose jobs. We're not going to have the same kind of distribution. So what do you guys think? Do you think in 5 years that there will be no more GameStop, there will be no more stores that sell video games? Do you think digital distribution will take over that fast? I mean, people don't buy CDs anymore, except for me, because they have sales at like Book Off for like $1. You know, I bought this for like $3. It's like Eminem CD. It doesn't matter. Cause I grew up, you know, in the generation where CDs were big. You know, the '90s. I bought so many CDs. I had stacks in my room, and I was very proud to show my friends. I was like, I got the newest CD. I really liked the artwork. I really liked reading the lyrics of the songs, stuff like that. Same thing with games. I really like how when you go out and buy a game, you get the cover art. You get all the information inside. And they have these big box sets where you can get exclusive behind the scenes footage and sometimes little toys or props or whatever.
I had to stop her right there for a minute. Keep in mind, this was back in 2009 when she made this. Her prediction is off, but that's okay. That's okay. I used to have music CDs that I owned back in the 90s. But how I miss those days. The last CD I have in my collection is Vanessa Carlton. It no longer works anymore due to being scratched. See that? Vanessa, sorry. There we go. Vanessa Carlton. It's all scratched and everything. That's what happens when you move a lot. It sucks because over time I lost my music CDs. I had something in my life that happened to me that I don't want to get into, that caused me to lose and misplace my CDs over time. Regardless of the matter, I'm going to keep this Vanessa Carlton CD. She used to be my favorite singer back in the day. I don't really listen to her anymore. This CD dates back to the year 2000. 2002. Where was I in 2002? Where were you in 2002? Do you remember where you were back in 2002? How old technology was? That's how old that thing is, my CD. No way in hell I'm getting rid of this. Alright, one final time with Kristen.
But what happens if your technology spazzes out and fails? Can you download it again if you get a new PSP Go? What would happen to all the content that you have? It's kind of like the whole thing with OnLive, if you guys remember that, where they're trying to stream full high-definition games straight to your computer that you can buy from their servers. But what about your saved games? What about all those things? Like, you can't just pick it up and go to someone else's house. This is something you can only play online. It's not the same experience that we had growing up. Businesses like GameStop, Best Buy, and Fry's Electronics will be heavily affected by this whole commercial, drive towards digital distribution versus physical distribution.
Holy shit, I remember OnLive. I at first thought it was the coolest thing. I kind of wanted it, but I said no over time. I decided no. I never thought I'd hear the name again. I am agreeing with her on one thing about the technology. In the future, if all your games and movies are on a device or a computer, what would happen if it doesn't work? In my opinion, no one isn't thinking clearly about this at all. What about people on their iPhones, Samsungs, or whatever? They take pictures with it all of the time. They have over 2,000 pictures on their phones or something. Several people I know personally have wanted to show me a picture or whatever, so of something cool or funny. Whatever they want, whatever it is they want to show me, it takes them a while to find it. Searching through their little phones, trying to find a picture that they want, taking them like a minute or something because they have so many pictures. That's why I don't believe in something like that. Even when I'm at work, I find people who forget or misplace their phone all the time. From their phones or tablets that they bring to go shopping with, they leave it behind, and all of a sudden they misplace it. That has all of the private stuff on it. This is why I am against everything on it. This includes MySpace and Facebook. I have both. I got MySpace and I got Facebook. People on my friends list that I know has over 2,000 pictures on their account. How many do I have? Less than 20. 20 pictures. I'm serious. Look at all of my damn movies and games that I have. Look at this. Look. I don't want this to go away. Look at my collection, damn it. I'm against streaming and digitally. Look at this. Call of Duty 4, Uncharted, Mass Effect, Dragon Age Inquisition, Medal of Honor, Last of Us, BioShock, Red Dead Redemption, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, I watched Beauty and the Beast. I like the movie. Return of Jafar, Man of Steel, Rogue One, Star Wars Force Awakens. Look at this. Look at all this. This Infamous 2, RoboCop, Splinter Cell, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. I have the entire collection of Lord of the Rings. Guys, I do not want to get rid of this. These are going to be worth a lot of money one day. I am not going to get rid of them. Look at them, guys. Not just PS3, 360, PS2, PS1, original Xbox, GameCube. all that will be worth money one day. So if you still have all that, keep it. By the way, just like Halo 2, remember Halo 2, guys? As I mentioned before, Halo 2 service got shut down. Fans flocked to play it one last time. I'm waiting for the day when COD 4, Call of Duty 4, service gets shut down. I'm hoping not for a long time. I will be rallying with my brother and sister in gaming arms to play Call of Duty 4 one last time. The end of physical stuff. Physical is coming. What about movie theaters? Will they be gone in 15 years? What is your opinion? I have a whole lot more than this. I've got about 95 PS3 games in my library. Physical PS3 games, mind you. I have about 40 or 50 movies. I'll have to make another video collection one day with all of my games and movies that I have. My entire collection. I have a whole lot more than this. This is just a sample of what I have. Just look at it. This is Snake from World Gaming Entertainment. Have a good one.